Hello and welcome to Fulton today. John Luke McCord here with you alongside Michael Upton as we get ready for day 2 of the 2021 season for Coach Andy Kurt and ICC softball. And we'll have a double header today against the Snead State Parsons coming in to play the Indians today. And again, yesterday, just a quick recap, we had a 1-1 run for ICC. They had an offensive outburst to get a win in Game 2. Had a couple of solid pitching performances as well. And I'll just toss it over to Michael now, just kind of recap of what we saw yesterday and maybe something this team can carry into today and day 2.
Thank you, John Luke. We're glad to be back out here today. And, Game 1 yesterday was a pitcher's duel between Katie Bowen of the Shelton State team and then Madison Burr of ICC, who both pitched fantastic games, sending that first game into extra innings. A couple of defensive misplays allowed Shelton State to score, and they got the extra inning victory. Game 2 saw the bats come alive for the Lady Indians, taking advantage of everything they could to gather the victory.
Absolutely. And again, you mentioned it. The second game, Madison Jenkins was the pitcher. She was also the offensive star. She had a 5 RBI outburst. In Game 1, Madison Burris, of course, had a phenomenal pitching display into extra innings into that game. And so we are getting ready here pre-game. And want to say thanks to Davis Ford, of course, our pre-game show sponsor here for ICC softball. And we've got some of our starters beginning to line up here for Snead State as we get ready for today's game. We mentioned to you, of course, ICC 1-1 after today, coming right back for their second doubleheader in as many days. Of course, they're probably glad to be playing, glad to be out here on the field here in 2021. Want to play as many games as you can, of course, after the pandemic-shortened season last year where ICC finished 9-5, actually got 4 chances at this Snead State team. They split 2 different doubleheaders, and so had a really back and forth, sort of like yesterday, a close game or a game that Snead State won handily and a game ICC won handily in the second game of that first doubleheader. The second doubleheader was 2 high-scoring affairs. ICC was able to get a blowout win and a close loss in that one. So, again, we're getting ready here for, I believe, the national anthem coming up again as Snead State. And we'll get that. Sorry, trying to fill this thing out pregame here. But we're getting the ICC starters. They're going to run out here and line up as well. We do have the national anthem coming up in just a little bit. But really, I mean, it's just going to be game 3 and 4 today. But what are some things you're looking for early on, Michael, really, as ICC sort of positions themselves to stretch their legs out in this young season?
Well, I would love to see both of our starting pitchers continue the excellent work they showed yesterday. Despite the loss, Madison Burris was fantastic in her opening game, and Madison Jenkins equally did well in a much shorter inning work because we won the second game in 5 innings, but just fantastic outing by both. So strong pitching goes a long way, and then if the bats carry on from yesterday afternoon in the second match, we'll be in good shape.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and mention our starters really quickly here for ICC. Actually, we'll see if we can beat the national anthem. I don't think we're going to, so we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after the anthem. The anthem is played, and we are ready to play some baseball, softball here as we get started from Fulton. And we'll go ahead and read off the starting lineup in order of batting order here for ICC. Is leading it off is going to be Rutledge. Katie Rutledge leading it off and playing left field. Mackenzie Patterson will start out today batting second, playing center field. Ivy Watts will be the first baseman batting third. And Kara Hayes will be the catcher batting fourth. We'll also have Brianna Posey out there as the extra hitter batting fifth. Connor Stevens in right field batting sixth. And it'll be Josie Meggs playing third base and batting seventh. And then Hannah Henry is going to play second base batting eighth. Katie Boatner will round it out at shortstop batting ninth. And, of course, your starting pitcher today for ICC will be Madison Burris.
Yeah, Madison had, an excellent day yesterday. She went 7.2 innings, only 2 hits, only 3 runs, only one of them earned, struck out 4, and walked 1.
And the first 3 up she'll face today, Shelby Payne, J.C. Dill, and Molly Penley for Snead State.
The Snead State team came into the area on Monday, played 2 games against Northeast Community College, and dropped both of those in low-scoring affairs.
You can't always use the transitive property in sports, but it will be an interesting early season sort of comparison here from doubleheaders against one of your rivals, Northeast, in the same week. So, again, Payne is dug into the box, and Burris is ready to deliver the first pitch. First pitch brought to you by First American National Bank. And it will be a ball. Also want to say thanks to Davis Ford, again, our pregame show sponsor. 1-0 count after the first delivery from Burris.
That's a 12:57 first pitch start today. Again, a little bit early like we were yesterday. These umpires and teams are ready to go.
And we'll have a stoppage here as the umpire stops Burris's delivery before she gets going and signals to the ICC dugout that's the first warning. And it will be, of course, a ball. That pitch that didn't come there results. 2-0 count to Payne. There's the first strike of the game for Burris and draws this count back to 2-1 against Payne. And there's contact down the first base line. Watts is going to gather, touch the bag, and make the first out of the inning here as Payne goes down and Dill will now step into the box, the center fielder.
Yeah, just an easy routine play to Ivy Watts at first, just picking up and stepping on the bag.
Burris battled from back in a 2-0 count there to retire the leadoff hitter. And here's contact, the fly ball into center field off the bat of Dill that will be gathered and recorded for an out here as Patterson grabs it out in center field, and that's 2 up, 2 down quickly for Madison Burris, picking up where she left off yesterday. Through 7 scoreless innings, so went into extras and, of course, lost that game yesterday on some pesky runs that came in late in the 8th, but 7 2/3 she threw before allowing a run. And the first pitch here to the 3-hole hitter, Penley, is a ball. She went with the off-speed here to start. The 3-hole hitter. Penley is the second baseman for Snead State. And second pitch, a ball as well. So for the second time this inning, Burris will run a count 2-0.
She really seems to be trying to establish her corners and see what the umpire is going to give her today.
Pitcher who knows how to feel her way around the strike zone. There's contact and a ball fouled off for strike 1 on the third pitch of the at-bat. So this is what she did to the leadoff hitter Dill. She got her on the 4th pitch of the at-bat, but did work back in that count from down 2-0. There's contact into right field. Looks like another easy fly ball, and it will be out there. 3 up, 3 down for Madison Burris. She has now thrown her 8th scoreless inning of the last 2 days. We'll go to a break. Be right back with the bottom half of the first.
Welcome back. We thank you for our sponsor, Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works, a proud sponsor of ICC Athletics. ICC and Coke. Now that's a winning combination.
And welcome into the bottom of the first. Indians about to come to the plate here in order. It'll be Rutledge, Patterson, and Watts facing Wright. Madison Wright on the mound for Snead State, the lefty. We'll have a lefty on lefty matchup here. With Rutledge to start.
Wright has started 1 game and has 2 appearances. She's pitched 7 innings, given up 7 hits, 1 run, 1 earned, struck out 5 and walked 1.
Again, in an appearance against Northeast earlier this week. Here's the first pitch off the outside for ball 1 to Rutledge. Katie Rutledge, a freshman from Manchester, Tennessee, played at Coffee County High School there. And she watches ball 2, 2-0 count. Leading off again, ICC able to get a lot of base runners in that game. The second game yesterday afternoon, Ivy Watts, the 3-hole hitter, had a home run. And Rutledge watches one down the pipe for a strike right there to make it a 2-1 count. Actually, pardon me, what am I saying? 3-0 count. That was ball 3. It watches one on the outside there, but that'll be called a strike to bring this count back to 3-1. But you like your leadoff hitter to see a handful of pitches here.
Right. The more patience that leadoff batter has, work that pitcher and let everyone else get some looks at their pitches is always a plus.
And there's a ball slapped back up the middle. It'll go underneath the glove of the shortstop, and Katie Rutledge with a leadoff single to set the table here for ICC.
Just put it right past the glove of the shortstop into shallow left field, and getting that leadoff batter is oh so key, getting your inning started.
First hit of the season there for Katie Rutledge to set the table here for Mackenzie Patterson. Patterson, a sophomore outfielder from Corinth. There's a ball, an attempted bunt down the third base line that'll go foul. So Rutledge will have to head back to first base after that. Strike 1 against Patterson.
Patterson had great defense in the field yesterday, reached base a few times as well, and had a stolen base as well on the opening day of the season.
And there's a swing and a miss that will bring up strike 2 and even the count here to Patterson with Rutledge on first base. Still a scoreless game, obviously, here in the bottom of the first between ICC and Snead State. And there is a ball fouled back out of play by Patterson. You're right, she did score 2 runs yesterday, so able to get on base and move around a couple of times. And Wright squaring up for the 6th pitch of this at-bat. And there's a ball fouled right back at us here, and it'll keep the count 2-2 after 6 pitches here from Madison Wright to Mackenzie Patterson, sophomore outfielder, trying to make it 2 up and 2 on for ICC here in the bottom of the first. And another ball foul back out of play. 3 straight now off the bat of Patterson, right back out of play. So we'll remain at 2-2.
She just continues to battle and stay in there, work this pitcher, and this may pay off some benefits down the road for both the first 2 batters to work this pitcher as many pitches as they've got on her.
And there's a ball high out of the zone. We've got an attempted stolen base, but Katie Rutledge will be thrown out down there at second. We'll have a full count back at the plate for Patterson, but she loses her base runner there on a nice throw by the catcher here from Snead State. That was just a good play back there by Sarah Kuntz.
Yeah, well-placed throw right where the second baseman's glove would be to get the tag before the slide.
10th pitch of the at-bat coming here, and it will be a walk. Oh, actually, thought we had a 2-2 count on the last delivery, but pardon me, 1-2. So we have a 2-2 count now coming here to Patterson.
Yeah.
Maybe if I look at the scoreboard, we'll see that. Of course, you can't see the scoreboard on your screen. Trying to keep it accurate for you. There's a swing and a miss, though, and Patterson will go down to a strikeout. And so after a leadoff hit and a handful of pitches from Madison Wright, ICC goes from 1 on, no out to nobody on, 2 out for the 3-hole hitter, Watts. Ivy Watts, a sophomore slugger out of Tupelo. Had 2 home runs in a shortened season last year and 1 yesterday. Swings and fouls one off her right leg here. 0-1. And again, Wright looked like she was going to pitch herself into some trouble, getting behind early on to Patterson with a runner on first base. But she's worked through it. There's an off-speed and a swing and a miss for strike 2 against Ivy Watts here in the bottom of the first inning. And here's another ball fouled.
I believe she fouled it off of herself. It was an inside pitch that she got a hold of, and it came in on her left thigh, I believe.
That is the second time this at-bat. She fouled the first pitch off her right ankle, fouled that one, like you said, off the inner thigh of the left leg. So,
and that comes after being hit by a pitch twice in Game 2 yesterday. So she's going to be sore this weekend, I believe.
Lots of contact with the ball to start the season for Ivy, but she's got 2 strikes here. Working against Madison Wright, and she'll foul one directly back beyond the glove of the catcher to the mask of the umpire here, and she'll get another chance. And it is Kara Hayes on deck, the catcher, if Watts is able to get on here. And it'll be a high fly ball. It's going to stay on the infield, it looks like, and it will be caught as well. And Watts is out number 3, so it's 3 up and 3 down despite getting a base runner on that inning for ICC. We'll head to the top of the second after this break.
At Renaissance Bank, they understand consistency. They understand hard work, but most importantly, they understand you. Visit renaissancebank.com to learn more about the Reward Extras checking accounts.
And welcome in top of the second. And it'll be Bain, Kuntz, Bryant due up here to face Madison Burris in this top half. First pitch inside, a little low, and it'll be ball one from Burris. As you mentioned, she didn't quite throw as many pitches as her counterpart right in the first inning, but was trying to feel her way around the umpire's zone here in the first as well. And he's not liking the inside corner there, ball two.
Not yet. That's what she's really trying to work on, these right-handed batters, but she's yet to find it exactly where he's going to give it to her.
Looks like a spot that we have seen some calls made maybe when that's an outside pitch, not so much when a right-handed batter in the box. And here's a pitch that does cross the strike zone for strike one, 2-1. As we are still looking for our first score. Did have to wait into extra innings to get that yesterday in game one. And Burris delivers pitch number 4, and it is driven into right field. And Bain is going to reach base. So the left fielder gets the first hit of the day for the Parsons of Snead State. Be the first base runner that Burris is dealing with today as well. Leadoff hit top of the second. Sarah Kuntz, the catcher, steps in now. Off-speed pitch to start things off here over the plate, strike one.
Madison having much more success on the outside of the plate than she was on the inside.
And here's the ball skied on the infield. And it is going to be pulled down and caught by Henry. So there's one out with the runner on first base. As Shelby Bryant digs into the box, the extra hitter.
I do believe this is Bryant's first at-bat of the year, as she has no statistics coming into today's game.
And there's strike one across from Burris on that one. So she is starting to establish herself early on in the count here on these last two batters. After the line drive into right field off the bat of Bain to lead off the inning. Here's a off-speed pitch well off the plate outside to even the count 1-1.
We saw that pitch a couple times yesterday where it seems just to get loose from her just a little bit and sail.
Trying to start that on the outside, maybe get a swing and miss or a lazy ground ball to the right side. And here's a ball fouled back through the heat there. Got the count moved to 1-2 here with one out. We'll see if she tries to leverage the hitter to keep this one on the ground or tries to get a swing and miss here. And she doesn't go anywhere. She didn't waste anything there. Went right back to the edge of the zone and got a strikeout on that one. And that is going to be a strikeout, of course, brought to you by Renaissance Bank. And digging in now is Blakely Burr, the shortstop. She is hitless early this season. And she is down 0-1 after the first pitch strike from Burris. Runner on first base, 2 outs here for Madison Burris, working in the top of the second. And she delivers one on the inside that was turned on there by Burr, but hit foul down the left field line. And so it'll be 0-2 now for Burris. She did not waste a pitch in getting her previous strikeout. We'll see if she tries to waste one off the plate here. It's just the 7th batter she's faced now here through 1 2/3. And here's a ball popped, foul, outside of play down the right field side. And it will remain 0-2.
Burr, she tried to work that outside corner, like you said, to get her to chase, and the batter got just enough of it to foul it off.
Turned on the inside off speed the previous pitch and got enough of that one to stay alive. But 0-2. Burr's trying to get out of the top of the second inning after surrendering a leadoff single. And here's a ball grounded weakly to the left side. Is picked up, thrown across the infield, and that will be out number 3 as Meggs retired the batter there, and Burris got him in order after the leadoff single. We'll head to the bottom of the second for the ICC after this.
All right. When you're ready to sell your house or buy your dream home, give Tommy Morgan Realtor Ricky Murphy a call at 842-8344 or look him up on Facebook at Ricky Murphy TM Realtors.
Kara Hayes, Brianna Posey, Connor Stevens due up this half of the inning for ICC. Still scoreless as we get started here at the bottom of the second. Of course, Madison Wright able to navigate around a leadoff single in the first inning as well. And there's one right down the plate for strike one here against Hayes.
Kara looking for a chance to put the bat on the ball after being hit by pitch 3 times in Game 2 yesterday.
One of those times at least she earned an RBI, but still doesn't make it feel that much better. There's strike 2, and it's 0-2 as Wright starts out to Hayes. And there's a ball hit right back up the middle on the ground by Hayes. And so leadoff batter is on for the second straight inning here for the Lady Indians.
Again, exactly how you want to start it. You got to get base runners on to get them over. Kara glad to get her hit there and get on base in the more traditional way.
Absolutely. Hayes, a freshman from Morville. Now we got Brianna Posey, a sophomore from Florence, digging in for ICC. And the ball is hit in the air. It's going to drift just into shallow center and caught out there for out number 1 as Hayes will stay put at first base. So Brianna Posey down after one pitch, and now Connor Stevens, the right fielder, steps in.
Connor made some very impressive plays in right field yesterday and really showed a lot of grit for a freshman in their first game.
1 for 4. And there's ball 1 to her. And you see Hayes sort of step off first base there, maybe trying to attempt the catcher. Didn't get a look, though. It is Josie Meggs, the third baseman, on deck. And there's a ball hit on the ground towards first base, and good enough to allow Hayes to advance the second, as Stevens will be retired easily at first base, but she moves the runner over into scoring position here for Meggs.
Yeah, the ball just bounced around on the first baseman a little bit, but being right on top of the bag, it was an easy play to get her out.
Kind of one of those in-betweeners. Looked like probably to her, looked like it might stay in the air all the way to her glove, but it sort of had some tail spin, hit the ground right in front of her, but she got the one out. And looking here at Meg, she's a freshman from Kosciuszko. Again, playing third base today. And she watches strike one on the first pitch.
Josie just missed a home run yesterday by about a foot and a half maybe down the left field line that just went hooked foul at the last minute. So we know she's got some power.
She's got a runner in scoring position on this at bat as well. There's a ball high out of the zone. And we get a throwback to second quickly from right. Kind of casually but quick. And almost caught Hayes sleeping out there.
Yeah, I don't think she was expecting the throwback.
And we have a 1-1 count to Meggs. 2 outs. She got a chance to break this game, the scoring open in this game here. The runner in scoring position. She swings and misses at the third pitch for strike 2. 1-2. 2 outs would be a clutch hit if she could drive one in here. And umpire will say she checked her swing there.
Again, they try to go to second and get the runner, but safely in.
Yeah, not quite as scary that time for ICC, but the check swing back at the plate was a little bit scary there. The umpire again says she didn't go. 2-2 for Meggs. And she gets her bat on this one. It's in that 6-hole. She's going to be able to get to first base safely, and Hayes is going to be able to get across the plate from second on the infield single there by Josie Meggs, and that will open the scoring up in this one. 1-0 for the Lady Indians, as now Meggs will stand at first base as Hannah Henry, the second baseman, digs into the box.
Again, Coach Andy Kirk shows he likes to be aggressive on that third base box and send his runners, and it pays off there.
I think both runners kind of playing against each other helped there. She was looking at the runner going in front of her at first and then checking first, and easily runner able to get around third and go home. But Henry, a freshman from Brandon, digging in. And she fouls one off here on the first pitch, and it'll fall to 0-1 to right.
Henry did well yesterday, 2 for 3 at the plate. Scored a run and earned a walk as well.
And right for Snead State, who was able to navigate a leadoff hit in the first inning. Couldn't do it here in the second. There's a ball hit on the ground to third base, and it'll be out number 3, will Hannah Henry, but not before the Lady Indians strike and get a run across on an infield single from Josie Meggs, the third baseman. So we'll have a 1-0 lead for Madison Burris and ICC in the bottom half of the second after this break.
John Harrod and all the great folks at the Bank of Oklahoma are proud to help support athletes, ICC athletics. The Bank of Oklahoma is a hometown bank serving Chickasaw County and the surrounding areas for more than 75 years. Learn more at bankofoklahoma.com.
With a 1-0 lead, Burris digs back into the rubber out there, and she'll have Allie Reno up to start things off for Snead State. The third baseman hits it to third base, and that is a quick one-pitch out for Burris there as Meggs, who got the RBI single in the top half of the second, or bottom half of the second, able to retire the first batter here, top of the third.
Great start to the inning. One pitch, one out.
Abby Hornbuckle, the right fielder, now steps in. And first pitch from Burris off the outside edge, and will be a ball one. And second pitch inside on that edge. Inside that outside edge, I should say. 1-1 for Burris to Hornbuckle. And she comes back, staying on that outside part of the plate, off the edge here. Ball two, 2-1.
Yeah, really staying away from her.
This is the 9-hole hitter here, Hornbuckle, a freshman from Huntsville. Comes back inside here and gets strike two. Set that one up perfectly. She's got her 2-2. We'll see if she comes back on the edge here, maybe some off speed. Comes back inside, almost hit her there. Ball three. Full count here to the 9-hole hitter, Abby Hornbuckle. One up, one down already for Burris in this inning. And here's a drive into left field. And it kind of slows up, and it's picked up out there and retired by Rutledge for out number 2. And Shelby Payne, the leadoff hitter, will dig back in for her second chance here against Burris.
We've got a nice little crowd out in left field behind Rutledge today. As we talked about yesterday, the ball field is open. We ask you to be socially distant and wear your mask, but we'd love for you to come out and watch us live and in person.
Curveball well off the outside part of the plate here from Burris. Ball one. And here's a ball popped out of play. And will be strike one. 1-1 count. From Burris to the leadoff hitter, Shelby Payne. She plays first base for the Parsons. And a ball high and outside the zone here for Burris on pitch 3 of the at-bat. So what are you seeing? I mean, similar to what Burris was able to do. You had eyes on her yesterday, too.
Yeah,
she's mixing her pitches.
Looking very much in there, just staying on top of the batters as much as she can, working that outside corner. Like we said early on, the first inning she tried to work the inside and is working more of the outside now. But
here's an off-speed pitch hit well into left field, but not beyond the glove of Rutledge, and it'll be 3 up, 3 down, a clean inning for Burris in the top of the third. ICC looking to build on a 1-run lead headed into the bottom of the third.
ICC fans, next time you come into Fulton, be sure to visit the Sonic of Fulton. You can't miss it right there on South Adams Street. Be sure to download the Sonic app for exclusive deals and specials you can't get anywhere else.
And we're picking things up. Bottom of the third inning. Katie Boatner, the shortstop, rolling in for her first at-bat of the day against the freshman Madison Wright.
Katie had a great day yesterday, going 3 for 4 at the plate.
There's a ball chopped to the second baseman. She's going to try to beat it out, and she just missed out by half a step or so there. And Boatner will be out number 1 of the inning. Katie Rutledge stepping in now. Mackenzie Patterson on deck. And Rutledge, of course, reached back in the first inning to lead things off for ICC, and eventually was thrown out trying to steal second. She watches a ball well outside there for ball 1. Rutledge and Patterson both did a great job that first at bat of really watching a lot of pitches. Rutledge saw 5 before she reached, just like she did in the first, as watch the count go 2-0.
She's trying to work her on the outside this time, I think, trying to keep her from getting on base like she did in the first inning.
She pulls it down the first base line. Her speed makes her certainly a near impossibility to retire. There's a ball that skips in the dirt for ball 3. 3-0 to the left fielder, Rutledge. It's oftentimes you see the fielder retire that last out. They maybe come up to the plate and get a hit. We'll see if Rutledge can do just that. And she did watch strike 1 there on the 3-0 count. Tell you what, the weather has also shaped up for us, too. A nice crowd, but the weather's coming around a little bit. It wasn't bad earlier, just a little bit overcast. Here's a ball swung on by Rutledge. Might fall in no man's land, and it will, just in front of the glove of the center fielder. And so Rutledge on for the second time today.
Can't beat where that landed. Just the center fielder comes in as fast as she can, but the ball was just perfectly placed to drop in between the second base and center fielder.
A little bit higher than your typical Texas leaguer. That one got in the sky, but it did fall, and Rutledge on base for Mackenzie Patterson. So Patterson steps in again with a runner on first base and a chance to advance her. Watches ball 1 on pitch 1.
With 1 out, we'll see how aggressive they'll be on the base path this time with Rutledge.
Got a real opportunity, a 1-run lead, and a runner on, no outs. You got your 3-hole hitter, Ivy Watts, coming up next. There's another quick throw to first base after getting the ball back from the catcher there from Wright, but we saw strike 1 on that pitch to Patterson, 1-1. Big hole up the middle here with a runner on first for Patterson. She pops one down the left field line. It's going to be caught for out number 1. The relay gets it into the infield. No drama at second base, as Rutledge will stay put at first on the fly out to left from Patterson. 1 out, and the first baseman, Ivy Watts, steps in. 2 outs. Pardon me, we started at the 9th spot here in this inning. 2 outs and 1 on. That's Rutledge over first base. Ivy skies one out of play off the right side here to start the count 0-1. Kara Hayes on deck. She was the runner that came across the score here in this one for ICC. There's a ball high inside near the face. Watts able to get out of the way of it. And this time Rutledge successful on a steal attempt down at second base.
Another good throw, but Rutledge this time goes wide. Just keeps that hand in there to stay on the bag and is able to get the slide in successfully this time.
And Wright sort of had it at a level last time. Catcher able to stand up as she's standing up, grab that ball. That one much higher. She had to reach back and get. Either way, 2 outs, runner on second base. But there is strike 2 to Ivy Watts. We had the catcher and Wright leaving the field. Thinking they had a dramatic strikeout inning-ending strikeout finish there, but one more to go. 1-2 count to Watts. Runner in scoring position.
Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves just a little bit.
Absolutely, it's understandable. There's a ball high and inside, hard to resist from Watts, and she'll foul off a weak pop-up that turns into out number 3. And so the runner left out there stranded in scoring position at second base for ICC. They still carry a 1-0 lead as we head to the top of the 4th. We'll take a quick break.
I'm drawing a blank there.
Emma Short.
Tommy Shambly and First American National Bank have been customer-driven and community-focused since 1964. With locations from Iuka to Tupelo, visit fanb.bank for more information.
And we'll see Dill, Penley, and Bain up for Snead State, facing Burris in this inning. Top of the 4th. ICC leading 1-0. And there's a ball fouled away to start the inning, 0-1.
ICC made a couple defensive substitutions in that half inning. Emma Short has come into the catcher position, and Kara Hayes has moved to center field.
So Short will hit 8th, and Hayes will stay in her 4 spot in the lineup, of course. Off-speed pitch that didn't fool anybody there from Burris, and it'll even the count 1-1. And swing and a miss for strike 2 here to Dill. She retired the center fielder her first time up as well. Shouldn't say as well yet, getting ahead of myself. We do have a 2-2 count here to Dill.
Yeah, she flew out to center in the first inning.
John Luke McCord here with you. Michael Upton alongside me for ICC Lady Indians softball here today on the Let's Go ICCTV.com Blue Channel. There's a curveball, looked pretty good from Burris, but it'll be ball 3. We got a full count here to the 2-hole hitter, J.C. Dill. And off the plate, there's a walk from the sophomore Madison Burris.
It'll be her first walk that she's allowed today.
Second base runner, first walk. And it will give Molly Penley, the 3-hole hitter, a runner over at first base to work with, no outs.
Penalty flew out to right in the first inning.
Off-speed pitch, too low for a ball here. The first pitch she sees this at bat. You see they are playing her much deeper and right this time around. And another ball delivered here from Burr. So we have a 2-0 count after we just had a full count walk. And Dill now on first base.
Madison's last couple pitches just seem to be a little bit lower than where she wants them to be.
And she gets one over there for a strike, makes it 2-1. You're right, she was filling out the zone, it felt like early on, but she's been pretty sharp for much of the last two frames. Here in the top of the fourth, again, surrender to base runner. And working from behind to the three-hole hitter. She gets strike number 2, though. We got an even count between Burris and Penley. Snead State trailing ICC 1-0, but trying to scratch across a run and tie it here at the top of the fourth. And there is strike number 3 as Madison Burris impressively worked from behind 2-0 to get the strikeout. Our strikeouts brought to you by Renaissance Bank.
Courtney Bain.
And at the plate here will be Courtney Bain, the left fielder for Snead State. Also 0 for 1 today. And she watches an off-speed pitch for strike 1.
Now, Bain actually got a single earlier. She was the only base runner prior to Dill walking this inning. So
one out in the inning. And here's a ball hit deep into center field, high as well. And we got some miscommunication in the outfield, but Mackenzie Patterson does come down with it. Connor Stevens was also in the mix. But either way, a long out number 2, and runner will have to remain at first base.
yeah, I think Coach Andy will want to talk to his outfielders about communicating, as that was a little too close for comfort as they bumped into each other after the catch was made.
You have a sophomore in Patterson out there and a freshman in right field. There's a steal attempt, and it'll be successful down there at second base as we have Sarah Kuntz up at the plate now for Snead State. She watched ball 1 there on the steal.
Yeah, and we need to credit that catch in center field to Kara Hayes, as she has now moved out to center playing defense. So that was Hayes that made the catch in center.
And here's a ball fouled away for strike 1. And so we had Emma Short, again, go to catcher here before this inning. And Hayes, I thought we had her moving to second base, but instead out there at second is Hannah Henry now. She started the game at second. There's a ball through that first base, second base hole. We're going to get a throw from Stevens to home plate, but it's not in time, and the hitter will have a chance. Kuntz advances to second base on the throw to the home plate. And so that run comes across and ties things up here at 1 on the single there from Sarah Kuntz, the catcher for Snead State. And so she's out there in scoring position now. Shelby Bryant, the extra hitter, steps up.
Bryant struck out in the second inning, and that would be a great time to have another Renaissance Bank strikeout here for Madison Burris to end this inning and limit the damage to only 1.
And she's misses the plate here, ball 1 to Bryant. Got to bear down here again, runner in scoring position. And she skips one to the plate, skips away from the catcher, and the runner will have a chance to get to third base. And so now with a 2-0 count to the hitter and a runner on third base, degree of difficulty gets even higher here for Madison Burris.
2 outs. You just want to focus on the batter.
1 run already across. Here's another ball outside, so we got a 3-0 count. Really hasn't been close on those last 2 pitches. And here's one put into the zone, is hit into the air in right field and collected for out number 3. So Burris is able to limit the damage to just 1. And ICC will come to the plate with another tie score. First time since that first inning they've been tied, but we will have a 1-1 game when ICC comes to the plate after this.
Skip the register when you order your favorite Little Caesars pizza on the Little Caesars app, and stay safe by using the Pizza Portal pickup when you swing by Little Caesars at 1405 South Adams Street here in Fulton.
And we welcome you into the bottom half of the 4th frame here from Fulton as ICC hosting Snead State for a doubleheader today. We are in the first leg of our doubleheader. ICC held a lead for a couple of frames at 1-0. Snead State tied it in the top half of the 4th. Now this inning we'll see Hayes, Posey, and Stevens at the plate for the Lady Indians. Kara Hayes was the runner that came across and scored for ICC earlier. There's a ball low out of the zone to start things off to Hayes.
Yeah, she singled in that second inning and scored on Meg's RBI single later that inning.
Madison Wright, the freshman lefty, still on the hill here in the 4th for Snead State as she rolls ball 2 up to the plate. Nice to see ICC get things cranked back up here in the middle of the lineup again, get another run across. And there's a ball outside, 3-0 now to Hayes, trying to get on for a second time today. Coach Andy Kirk moving around behind the box there. It is Coach Kirk's 10th season here at ICC, and we have him down for a 303 and 111 record all time here in Fulton. There's ball 4. Hayes is on first as Brianna Posey going to step into the plate here. Step into the box.
Posey popped out to second in her first at bat. See if she can get something in play and move the runner around this time.
This is the 3rd inning now out of 4 frames that ICC's come to the plate where they've been able to get the leadoff runner on. And there's strike 1 on the first pitch to Posey, the extra hitter today.
Snead State continuing to kind of watch those base runners very closely, respecting ICC's often aggressiveness on the base path.
And there's another aggressive move as they get a steal here from Hayes. Down to second. The count evens at the plate as well to Posey. So that is now 2 of 3. You mentioned ICC being very aggressive early on today. on the bases. Rutledge had a steal earlier. And now Kara Hayes. And we already know that she's dangerous once she gets out there in scoring position. Scored from second on an infield single back in the second. And a big swing and a miss from Posey here. She was going for everything there.
Yeah, she wanted every bit of that ball.
I imagine if she would have hit it, we would have a 3-1 game right now. But instead, a 1-2 count. And this one.
There you go. You called it.
Is hit high into left field. It's being tracked out there in left field, but it's actually going to be off the glove and an error in left field, a near errant throw into third base. But Posey will reach on an error by the left fielder, but doesn't matter because ICC's got 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out now as the right fielder, Connor Stevens, steps in. You're right. I thought she had gotten all that. She was a little bit underneath it, obviously, as high as it was. And it was an off-speed pitch, so it didn't really generate a lot of the power for her like the fastball would. But that was a big hack, and that Sun possibly played a role. It's behind the left fielder, so I'm not sure, but possibly played a role in the drop. And there's a big rope by Stevens over the third baseman into left field. It's going to be good enough to get 2 runners across here as both Hayes and Posey score for the Lady Indians. And Stevens standing safely on second base with a 2 RBI double here. And ICC will just rotate another runner out there into scoring position with no outs.
Exactly what we needed to keep this going and get that merry-go-round running, as Adam Gore likes to say, to keep the batters moving, keep the runners moving, and bring the runs in.
Josie Meggs, a good candidate to be able to do just that. She had an RBI single back in the second to drive in Hayes. And this time she'll bunt one to the right side, and she'll sacrifice herself at first base to get Stevens over to third here with just 1 out.
That sacrifice brought to you by Brother Chris Burrows and the ICCBSU, who want to remind you of the ultimate sacrifice. Come out and see them on Monday nights at 7:07 for worship service.
And Hannah Henry stepping into the box for ICC, the second baseman. And she takes a nice swing here on the first pitch and fouls it back for strike 1. And so ICC has pulled ahead 3-1 here with 2 runs in the bottom of the fourth, responding to that tying run that Snead State was able to get in the top half of the frame. And here's a bunt down the left side of the infield, a really, really good one for Henry.
Placed bunt.
And she will get the runner across here as Meg scores, and Henry is safe on first base. Just 1 out now as the shortstop, Katie Boatner, steps in. ICC is moving ahead to 4-1 now, the lead.
Yeah, with only 1 out, you just want to keep pushing that as much as you can. Take advantage and get up and give Madison Burris as much of a lead as she can to work with.
If ICC could have Boatner get on here or avoid the double play, they'll rotate back to the top half of the order. She bunts it right back to right, and a good play by Wright to get the base runner at first. And then, as we saw, Henry try to get a little extra aggressive round second and is thrown out by the first baseman at third. And so a 1-3-5 double play there for Snead State will get out of the inning. Coach Andy Kerr a little bit frustrated, but
yeah, that play at first looked like it was a lot closer than the umpires called, and I don't think he was happy with the call there.
But either way, Snead State will be able to get out of it. Not before ICC charts 3 runs in the bottom of the fourth to take a 4-1 lead over Snead State. We'll take a break and be right back with the top half of the fifth.
Visit DavisFordSales.com or stop by 904 West Main Street in Fulton to pick out your next new or used dream car, truck, or van at Davis Ford.
It'll be Kuntz leading things off here for Snead State. Kuntz, Bryant, Burr, the three due up here for the Parsons in this half inning. Top of the fifth, ICC up 4-1 after a 3-run surge in the bottom half of the fourth. And so Snead State had battled back to tie this one in the top half of the fourth, but a great response from ICC, and so now a little bit of a hole here for the visiting team.
Yeah, that's exactly what Madison Burris would love to have is a 3-run lead.
She uses the off-speed pitch out of the zone here to start things off. Yeah, Burris has to feel good. You can't feel good going against her, knowing how well she's pitched over the last 2 days. And now 3 runs feels like about 9. Here's a ball hit well into left center, and it will be picked up out there and grabbed and retired by Rutledge. She's gotten under 3 balls that have been hot skied out there to her thus far. Either way, 1 up, 1 down for Burris in the top of the fifth as Shelby Bryant, the extra hitter, steps to the plate. And she'll start her off with the ball low out of the zone for ball 1.
Wind's starting to pick up a little bit compared to yesterday. You see the flag at center field blowing pretty well. Remember to follow the flag to First American National Bank.
And that's actually where some of the more well-hit balls for Snead State have wound up, is on the right side of the outfield out there. This ball is pulled down the left field side, left field line, out of foul for strike 1. Basketball season, softball season crossing over a little bit here, out of bounds.
Well, this year we've got everything going at once. Every sport but football is playing this spring. Today you're visiting us on the blue station while baseball is on the red station at the same time.
And this ball will be fouled into the ICC bullpen, out of play for strike 2. We actually have Allie Reno at the plate.
Reno grounded out to third in her first at bat.
And there's a ball grounded to third base on the 0-2 count. And it will be well thrown across the diamond and an out there from Meggs to Watts. 5-3 on the second out of the inning, as Hornbuckle steps in, the right fielder.
Madison able to work a lot quicker this inning than last, so it's good to see that.
And this ball fouled back out of play for strike 1. Yeah, I mean, a pitcher who is in a zone, you allow him to start to work, not necessarily faster all the way, but just in a rhythm. I mean, they haven't broke her rhythm at all this half inning.
Right, and the faster we can get the offense back out there now that they're clicking and working on that pitcher, you want to keep that going as much as you can.
Ball high out of the zone on the second pitch, 1-1. For Burr, she could get out of here cleanly, 1 up or 3 up, 3 down, and cycle out of the bottom of the lineup too, not have to face the top half in this half inning. There's strike 2. On a nice pitch on the outside corner, sets her up for just about any location here, in or outside. See if she's able to maybe find a good grip on that off-speed pitch outside here now. There's a ball grounded up the middle, be collected by Boatner up the middle and thrown over to first. 1, 2, 3. Burris retires the Parsons in the top half of the fifth, and that hot ICC offense will come back out with a 3-run lead here in just a few minutes in the bottom of the fifth.
The ICC Wesley Foundation is a proud supporter of ICC and ICC athletics. They meet Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Look for them on Instagram and Facebook by searching ICC Wesley.
And it is the freshman Rutledge due up to lead things off here in the top half of the bottom half of the fifth. Pardon me. ICC able to collect 3 runs in the bottom of the fourth, took a 4-1 lead, and now they got the top of the lineup to start things off here in the fifth.
And Rutledge has been hot today.
Yeah, 2 for 2 already, 2 singles. She did have a stolen base her last time on base. Hasn't come around to score yet, though.
But continuing to ICC to keep the trend up of getting the leadoff runner on base every inning so far today would be big to try to push some more runs in. And
to be Short and Watts due up next for ICC. Their strike one comes across from right. Of course, Emma Short on deck. Came in as the catcher back in the fourth. There's a bunt down the third base side, and that's a really good bunt. Another perfect one, you could say, from Rutledge, as it was just too far from the pitcher and the third baseman, and she is now 3 for 3. 2 singles and a bunt single. And I imagine if it's on Short's at bat or Watts is at bat, a pitch or 2 in here, she's going to be on the move at some point.
Yeah, that's what we've seen so far, and we've seen that Coach Kirk loves to use the speed, and we've seen it on some of these bunts. These young ladies have got a lot of speed, so you want to take advantage of that.
And you got a defense that really, even though they've had a couple of them dropped on them, not really changing the way they play that. And we'll have ball 1 there as Short showed bunt, pulled it back.
I think they were testing. They're expecting the bunt and run, so they just wanted to test the runner and see if they could catch her off.
Same situation here. This one, again, a ball a little bit too low for the catcher to even threaten the runner there. But Emma Short, a freshman from Cleveland, Mississippi, played at Bio Academy there. In the 2-hole hitting now after coming in, like we mentioned back in the fourth, as the catcher. It actually shifted for Mackenzie Patterson to come off. There's a bunt in foul territory, but it hung up long enough for the first baseman to come get underneath that one. And that'll be out number 1 here of the inning. Shelby Payne with a nice sliding catch there to get the first out of the inning. Ivy Watts up with a runner on first base and just 1 out. Watts, of course, 15 runs batted in a shortened season last year. She has that ability to drive the runs in, but things have really picked up with a 4-hole and on in the lineup so far today.
Yeah, it has been the middle producing the runs today versus the top, but you take your production where you can get it and be happy.
Absolutely. 1-0 count to Watts after the first pitch. Imagine Wright's going to be working every edge she can here on this at bat. There's a ball fouled up over our heads and out of play for strike 1. A 4-1 lead here as the Lady Indians working on the offensive side here in the bottom of the 5th inning. This is day 2 of the 2021 regular season. ICC 1-1. There's a ball hit into shallow center field, shallow right center actually. That'll be hauled down by Penley for out number 2. Kara Hayes, who's had a pretty good day thus far, already scored 2 runs. Been a part of what she scored the first run for ICC and has had a pretty good day thus far, stepping in for her third at bat.
She has a single, a walk, stolen base, scored 2 runs, so you can't ask much more.
And she tried to turn on this one, a ball that might have hit her, did kind of hit her as she swung. Be a strike there, but started over the inside part of the plate, came in even closer on her as she had already decided to swing. Again, the freshman from Morville, just down the road in Lee County. And she fouls this one back out of play for strike 2. 0-2 quickly now to Kara Hayes with 2 outs.
We appreciate all our fans that come out. We want to send a special shout out to our flotilla of golf carts in the outfield again today.
There's a ball whipped down the left field line, stays in play, gets by the third baseman, and it's going to give Hayes and these runners a chance to go after. But Rutledge will be thrown out at the plate after the relay in from left field. So she started at first base on the well-hit ball down the line from Hayes. Couldn't quite finish the first-to-home score there, and so that'll be the third out at the plate, unfortunately, for ICC. So the lead holds at 4-1, and the defense will get ready to come out. Top of the sixth just after a short break.
Brother Chris Burrows in the ICC BSU is proud to support ICC and ICC Athletics. They meet Monday nights at 7:07 p.m. Follow them on Twitter at ICCBSU for more information.
Top of the order due up here for Snead State in the top half of the sixth. Payne, Dill, and Penley. And Burris will start Shelby Payne, the first baseman, off with a ball. Still a 4-1 lead here for ICC as the sixth inning gets going. And well off the outside from Burris here. It'll be ball 2 to Payne. And another one off the plate, ball 3. 3-0 count for Shelby Payne.
I think that's the first time that Madison has fallen behind 3-0 to a batter today.
She was able to get a strikeout earlier after falling behind 2, and has done that a couple times. I think you're right. First time this deep in a count. She does come back with a strike on the fourth pitch. 3-1 now. As she lets Payne know you're not going to get out of the box that easy. And here's a ball fouled away for strike 2. We got a full count as Burris working against Shelby Payne, the leadoff hitter for the Parsons. Trying to keep that ever-important leadoff runner off base. And here's a ball thrown inside, hit pretty well out to left field. Rutledge going to be able to find her way underneath it for out number 1, though. And so impressive work there from Burris to fall behind 3-0 and work back to get the out.
Yeah, that shows a lot of poise from a pitcher who got limited starts last year as a freshman and is in her second start this year. So that's great to see for Coach Kirk and his team.
And appears to have just taken that big jump you like to see first to second year in the program. And, again, very small sample size, but 7 2/3 yesterday before she let anybody scratch anything across, and already 5 1/3 through here today, just a run allowed. There's strike 1 to Dill, the center fielder. And there's ball one high outside, how high out of the zone.
Madison not happy with that one. A little bit of vocal frustration. But keeping her calm, not to worry the umpire.
I mean, of all players out there, she should have a pretty good feel for the zone. She's attacked all spots of it today and really felt out the edges from this umpire. Here's a ball hit high into right field. And it looks like it's going to be able to be pulled down by Stevens out there, and it is right as she got near the line. And that is 2 up, 2 down for Burris with a 3-hole hitter, Penley stepping in. Penley, the second baseman.
Penley has flown out to right in her first at bat and struck out last time.
Watches an off-speed pitch go by here for ball one. And she got the benefit there. That's near the edge for strike one. 1-1 count. We had some, as we mentioned, after this one got going, the sun came out, had some pretty weather. I think we're going to have pretty weather for the evening game too. So stick around here with us on Let'sGoICCTV.com on the Blue Channel for our second game of the doubleheader coming up after this in about 3. There's a ball hit to Boatner, collected at short, thrown across for out number 3. Another 3 up, 3 down inning for Madison Burris as we head to the bottom of the 6th. ICC leading 4-1.
Tupelo Coca-Cola Bottling Works is a proud sponsor of ICC Athletics. ICC and Coke, now that's a winning combination.
The 3 due up here in this half inning for ICC. It'll be Brianna Posey, Connor Stevens, and Josie Meggs here in the bottom of the 6th, facing Madison Wright. Freshman lefty's been on the hill all day thus far for Snead State.
And Snead hasn't taken anybody to the bullpen to warm up yet today, so they look like they want to ride right all the way to through this as long as they can.
She starts off the count to Posey with a strike. And Posey is able to get underneath one into center field. Another ball is just going to get beyond the infield and shy of the center fielder for Posey. I believe that might have been Posey that had the little Texas leaguer last time, too.
Her last one up flew out to left, and the air allowed her to reach second. So
that might have been Stevens earlier. Either way, a second time ICC's been able to tuck one in out there. This time it's a leadoff hit for Brianna Posey. Connor Stevens will step in. She watches ball one off the outside.
Last time up, Stevens doubled to left, scoring 2 RBIs, and eventually scored in that same inning herself.
The biggest hit of the day, no doubt about it, for ICC earlier, as that one actually put them ahead 3-1 before she scored that 4th run. Here's a ball grounded back up the middle to the shortstop, and we're going to have an out at second, but Stevens is safe at first, so fielder's choice there. 6-4, 1 down, as Josie Meggs will step in. with a runner on first. She drove in that first run earlier today.
Yeah, very productive day with a single RBI in the first inning and a sac bunt that moved in a runner around who would eventually score after that.
And here's a ball bunted in front of the pitcher. It's going to have to be picked up by the catcher, and Meggs will be out. We got Stevens safe as she extended and got to third base there. So, Coach Kerr, we had an out recorded to end the inning in that same sequence earlier on, but he stays aggressive, and Connor Stevens able to go first to third on the bunt here in the sixth. So we'll have a runner out there at third with the 2 outs as Hannah Henry steps in.
That sacrifice bunt brought to you by the ICC BSU, who remind you of the ultimate sacrifice. Join them on Monday nights at 7:07 p.m. or follow them on Twitter at ICC BSU.
Now we've got a substitution coming here from Coach Kirk, so we'll keep our eyes open here as we're going to have Madison Jenkins step in to pinch hit for Henry. We'll get the indication of how that affects things defensively on the other side here, but as for the bottom of the sixth with 2 outs, Coach Kirk going to wisely bring in Madison Jenkins, who drove in 5 runs in the second game yesterday with a runner on third.
Indeed, if there's anybody you want to pull in with a hot bat, it would definitely be Madison.
And she's going to take one off the left forearm here on the first pitch she sees today. So she'll trot down to first base, and at least she won't be a problem as far as driving in a run here for Madison Wright, though she could wind up a run. We're going to get Hannah Henry now in the pinch run for her.
Yeah, we have that substitution back that you're allowed to do here, so.
And we got a meeting on the mound here for Snead State, players only, as ICC
Looks like they probably want to talk about their defensive positioning with a runner on first and third and 2 outs. They want to make sure they have their bases covered.
Yeah, you just trying to get that third out, but you do have options of where to go, so I want to make sure everybody's thinking through all that. 2 outs. Katie Boatner at the plate for the Lady Indians, and she has a chance to extend the lead. She watches the first pitch for a strike. And a little bit of trickery there as.
Yeah, throw down to third allows Hannah Henry to move to second.
And I think maybe part of the play there, possibly not Hannah Henry, though, started out a steal to second and fell down about halfway, almost baiting herself as an easy out to try to create some deceptiveness and let the runner on third try to score. Either way, Snead State did not bite on that. They threw down to third, and thus Hannah Henry able to get to second base. So, now we're going to get another pinch hitter here, as Boatner's going to come off in favor of Abigail Anderson, the freshman from Pontotoc. Second pinch hitter we'll see here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Second pinch hitter since that second out. 2 runners in scoring position now for Anderson as she'll see her first pitch. And it's a strike. It's strike 2 in the count here as she came on with an 0-1 count.
Henry's going to want to make sure she gets back to second a little quicker as the defense continues to guard those runners.
Got a secondary lead like nobody was on third there. There's a swing from Anderson. Fouled off on the first base side here. And so the count will stay 0-2 again for Abigail Anderson, who just came on as a pinch hitter after strike 1 to Katie Boatner. Freshman first baseman from Pontotoc. She's choked up here with 2 strikes and 2 outs. And 2 runners in scoring position. And there's another ball she'll get underneath and slice foul on the first base side. So still 2-0.
Just got to get her timing just right.
No doubt. And again, I mean, Wright has some pitches to waste if she wants. Don't want to waste one too nasty here with a runner on third, but. And Anderson, nice ability to restrain there. She watches one high around her eyes for ball one. Pressure situation here for the pitcher right, but maybe not as much for Anderson. She'll foul another one up into the air. Catcher had an opportunity to get underneath that one, but couldn't.
Yeah, thankfully that one popped almost right above the umpire, and the catcher there had to work around him in order to get to it. And if you're an ICC fan, you're grateful for the umpire there.
It would have taken, just the perfect first step from Kuntz to be able to get around the umpire there. She went around sort of his right side. Would have had to cut through the left there to get that one. But either way, just a foul ball. 1-2 to Abigail Anderson. And she will go down swinging as the third out here in the bottom of the sixth. ICC leading 4-1. Had left 2 runners in scoring position there in the bottom of the sixth. They'll have a chance to close it out in the top of the seventh after this break.
At Renaissance Bank, they understand consistency, they understand hard work, but most importantly, they understand you. Visit renaissancebank.com to learn more about the Reward Extras checking accounts.
New pitcher, Emily Robinson, a freshman from Springville, Alabama, is on in relief here to start the seventh inning. She throws ball one to Courtney Bain to get things started here top of the seventh. It'll be Bain, Kuntz, Bryant due up for Snead State to face the freshman. And Robinson powers a strike across here to even the count 1-1 on pitch 2.
Robinson looked nice in both of her relief appearances yesterday, going 1 1/3 inning and allowing no runs, 1 hit, and 1 walk.
And there's strike 2. Maybe working at a slightly quicker pace than we've seen from the starter, Madison Burris, over the first 6 innings. Here's a ball hit into center field, and Hayes was going after, but it'll wind up in the glove of the right fielder. I believe that is still Connor Stevens.
Yes, I believe that's still Connor out there.
Only one move after a couple of pinch hitters in the bottom of the sixth. It really is just Robinson who is the new fielder on.
As we look at the day for Burris, another fantastic outing today. 6 innings pitched, only allowing 1 run with 2 strikeouts and 1 walk.
Never really gave Snead State a chance to establish any momentum. There's a ball that hits the batter. Actually, Kuntz there. It sounded like it might have went off the knob of that bat, but either way, she'll head down to first base with the HBP. And now we're going to get a pinch hitter on for the Parsons as Katie Ball. Katie Ball, a freshman from Coleman, is going to replace the extra hitter Shelby Bryant. This might be the first at bat of the year for Ball.
Yeah, it looks like she's not had an opportunity yet.
So 1 out and 1 on for freshman Emily Robinson, who's come on to close things out here in the 7th for the Indians. And there's a foul ball for strike 1 to start things off to the pinch hitter here, Ball. We'll see. Down 3. You wouldn't think the Parsons will get too aggressive. They need more than 1, so you can't be trying too hard to get that runner around. There's strike 2 on the off-speed pitch from Robinson. 0-2 to Ball. ICC 2 outs away from closing out this one. And there's ball 1 in the count, 1-2. Lady Indians would move to 2-1 obviously here. And get ready for game 2 in just a little bit, around 3 o'clock. And there's ball 2. So count starts 0-2, now it's worked even from Robinson. There's a ball hit on the ground to shortstop. Boatner's going to go to second base, but won't get the out there at second, as it would have been a long throw from the hole, and again, wasn't hit super hard out there to her, so would have been a challenge to get the hitter at first base as well. But now the situation for Robinson is 2 runners on at first and second with 1 out.
Yeah, this will be a good test for Robinson as a freshman who didn't see a lot of base runners yesterday, to see how she can respond in this situation. Does have 1 out, does have a chance of some double play possibilities, so let's see if she can keep her composure and work this batter.
Going to force it all 3 bases. There's strike 1 to Blakely Burr.
Burr is grounded out to third and flied out to left in her first 2 plate appearances today.
And there's ball 1 on the count. 1-1. The key for Robinson will be here if she does get her to 2 strikes, just making sure to finish. She had finished on that last one, had gotten the ground ball that she needed, but speed on the bases was. There's a ball chopped to the right side of Robinson. She'll be able to fade all the way to first base and get that out. And both runners move around to second and third. So 2 outs with runners in scoring position, 2 runners in scoring position, as Allie Reno steps to the plate, the 8-hole hitter for Snead State.
Again, with the 2 outs, you have the advantage of just working on the batter. Just get that out there and not worry about what those runners are going to do.
Reno is the third baseman, a sophomore. And she watches strike 1 come across on the inside part of the plate there from Robinson.
Reno's grounded out to third base twice today, so a third ground out would be exactly what the Indians would love to see here.
Robinson's done a good job starting the last 3 batters out with strikes. And this one off the plate, ball 1. Just been able to keep these batters on the ground, too, so that's what you definitely want to see with those 2 runners in scoring position. You don't want to see anybody drive anything, even if it might wind up in a glove. So 2-1 now after that pitch misses. And here is one hit into right field. Stevens going to line it up, and she grabs the final out of the game, as ICC will close this thing out here in the top of the 7th. Lady Indians get a win by a final score of 4-1 over Snead State here in the first leg of this afternoon's doubleheader here from Fulton. And we're going to come back in a little bit. We'll get some love for our sponsors. We'll get you a recap on some of the numbers and how the Lady Indians made it happen. But again, 4-1 over Snead State. We'll take a quick break. Be back in just a minute.
Visit davisfordsales.com or stop by 904 West Main Street in Fulton to pick up your next new or used dream car, truck, or van at Davis Ford.
And again, welcome into our ICC softball postgame show here on Let'sGoICCTV.com. We're on the Blue Channel today here for softball action, sharing the stream feeds with baseball today, of course. But it was a good first game here of our doubleheader for ICC. Lady Indians come away with a 4-0 win off a 6th-inning performance from Madison Burris and a good offensive display. We'll get more on those numbers in just a minute. But again, Lady Indians moved to 2-1 on the season. We'll have first pitch in the second leg of our doubleheader. Again, coming around 3 o'clock, a little bit later for you, as, again, we're in the post-game after a 4-1 win for ICC over Snead State. And now we'll toss it to Michael Upton for some of the numbers.
Sure. Look at how our ICC Lady Indians did at the plate today. Rutledge went 3 for 3 with a stolen base. Patterson went 0 for 3. Watts went 0 for 3. Hayes went 3 for 3 with 2 runs and a stolen base. Posey went 1 for 3 with 1 run scored. Stevens went 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs scored and a fielder's choice. Meggs 1 for 3 with an RBI. Henry 1 for 2 with an RBI and a stolen base. Boatner 0 for 2. Anderson 0 for 1. And Jenkins was hit by a pitch when she came into pinch hit.
So, again, a pretty good day for the Lady Indians. Halfway through, 4-1 they win. We'll come back in just a little while with a short pregame show before Game 2. But other than that, ICC, again, winners here in Game 1. And we'll be back around 3 o'clock or just before to get you ready for Game 2.